Welcome to the Shreveport Connector with Tommy. This video is on your pay-per-view for tonight, being the Elimination Chamber. And also some breaking news about Hulk Hogan being on Raw tomorrow night, and Jake the Snake having cancer on his knee. And he's supposed to be having surgery this coming Tuesday. Says he will be at a future wrestling event and also WrestleMania. And Hulk Hogan's role supposedly at WrestleMania, according to this the report that I'm reading from Ringside News, is that he's going to be the host of WrestleMania 30 at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Hogan will make his long-awaited WWE return to Raw on tomorrow night, also appearing on the Backstage Pass on the WWE Network that starts at 9 a.m. Okay, we're thrilled here that Hogan has returned to WWE, as Mr. McMahon has said. It's fitting to have him help us celebrate 30 years of WrestleMania and usher in a new era with the launch of the WWE Network. A larger-than-life icon, Hogan was regarded as the face of WWE before Randy Orton, as he was still in snakeskin diapers. The Hulkster's rise to sports entertainment immortality began on January 23rd, 1984, versus the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden to become the WWE champion, and thus started Hulkamania. And the crowd, Hogan bringing WWE to the international prominence with appearances on MTV, his own animated series, but he's not even in the series himself, just his cartoon character, but not his voice. And a definitive WrestleMania 3 main event against Andre the Giant in front of a record 93,173 fans in Pontiac Silverdome. Words cannot express how excited we are to be back in WWE family, as Hogan said. Only to have one question for the WWE Universe: what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild as the host of WrestleMania 30? And the news that came from TMZ about Jake the Snake and his cancer on his knee. TMZ wrote the story on their website just moments earlier that Jake the Snake Roberts indeed has cancer, as he's commented himself as a tumor behind his knee, the size of a $50, and it's only growing. It's starting to grow into his muscle, and he needs a much needed emergency surgery to remove the growth. Jake told TMZ he noticed a tumor behind his knee the size of a $50 last month, and it was tested. The results came back on Friday, and the doctors told him that the test came back positive for cancer. Jake says he's scheduled to go under the knife this coming Tuesday morning. After a few weeks off, he will make his return to Jersey Championship Wrestling on March 14th, cancer or not. Jake also added, if the devil can't defeat me, cancer can't stand a chance in hell. Pray for sick children who face this horrible disease, because the snake will just be fine. As for his upcoming induction into the WWE Hall of Fame, the wrestler says nothing will stop him from getting to New Orleans for the select ceremony. Alright, and now for the pre-show of the Elimination Chamber. Josh Matthews opened up the show with Mark Henry, The Miz, and Rey Mysterio for the panel for this pay-per-view. They had a new set with the WWE Network logo on it. I would expect to see that this is the set in the post-shows for Raw and SmackDown. They ran through the shows, and Mark Henry struggled mightily. They tossed it back and forth to Renee Young in the social media lounge, who read some tweets about the chamber. Backstage, Zev Coulter talked about the Real Americans and said it was going to be their night. He cracked in a few jokes as he did We the People gimmick. JBL made his ring entrance to a pretty big pop. A video recap of Batista beating up Del Rio on Raw 2 weeks ago. Jerry the King Lawler got a good reaction too. WWE Network video also aired. Michael Coleslaw had joined the announced team that they hyped the WWE Network. Cody Rhodes and Goldust make their ring entrance. As Curtis Axel and Ryback, who is now one of the reporters had called them Axelback or Raxel. We're out next with Axel's grandfather, Larry the Axe Hennig. That's Zeb Coulter, as he's managing them tonight. Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Rybaxel, like I mispronounced earlier. Goldberg chant started quickly for Ryback. Well, it might have been, but when they did a replay during the actual pay-per-view, the guy did look like he had white hair. As Cody and Goldust dumped both heels to the floor to start the match, then did a coordinated dive on the floor as they go to an internet commercial. Well, we didn't get to see it on the WWE website, and nor the normal place where we see it online because they buffering until the first hour of the pay-per-view was on from reading the results from trusty website, ProWrestling.net. Well, back to the action. According to Jason Powell, he was at the arena and said that there were 2 loud CM Punk chants going. Of course, you got the Goldberg for Ryback. They're going for him as Minneapolis has come to play, apparently. Goldust hit a head scissors on Ryback. The Ryback took very well. Both men got tags as Cody ran his comeback. Hit the standing moonsault and the Alabama slam. Ryback pulled Cody to the floor, but Cody hit the disaster kick off the stairs. Back in the ring, Cody reversed an Axel finisher into a crossroads for the win. And the match only took 8 minutes 43 seconds. Byron Saxon interviewed the Usos backstage. They put over their uncle and father holding the tag titles and say that they would hold them after tonight. They said that they had 2 words for the Outlaws concerning their title reign. It's over. The panel gave their prediction. Ray picked Cesaro. Henry picked Sheamus as Miz picked Cesaro, but hedged with Daniel Bryan. Josh Matthews signed off. I think we had caught that part into the pay-per-view before the pay-per-view went black. Leading into the Elimination Chamber, well, Jason Powell again says that there were 3 half sections tarped off the building, and it's almost full and certainly very loud. Sounds like we have a good crowd. Opening video hyping the chamber match. Pyro popped off, and on the stage is Coleslaw, JBL, and Jerry the King Lawler. Welcome to the pay-per-view. Very properly, Coleslaw claimed that there were 14,100 fans in attendance. William Garcia handed the ring introductions for the open match. Jack Swagger versus Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter make their entrance. Zeb cut a promo and said the E in Big E was for enough and is enough of him being the champion. Zeb asked what Big E had done for America since he was champion and answered nothing. He cracked a wise joke about the polar vortex and closed with his catchphrase. Big E was coming out next. And he came out. Big E versus Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter for the Intercontinental Championship. They ran the ropes and Big E hit a shoulder tackle. Swagger took to the floor and checked with Zeb, but Big E hit several belly-to-belly throws. Swagger went to the floor again, but Big E followed. Zeb distracted E, and Swagger tried to attack from behind. Big E blocked and hit a spear into the stairs. Langston tried to get Ziggler in the ring. And Swagger threw him down and hit a sick clothesline to take control. Swagger hit a big boot as Lawler cracked about the Mexican border. Big E shoved Swagger away and hit a simultaneous clothesline. Swagger stood in the corner and moved when Big E ran in. He rolled the E up for a 2 count. Then we get the We the People chant breaking out as Big E started his comeback with a belly-to-belly suplex, but Swagger came back with a spine buster. Swagger went for the Swagger bomb, but Big E caught him in a big innings setup. But Swagger held the ropes on, so got out of it. So Big E dropped him on the apron and speared him to the floor. A holy shit chant broke out as Big E hit the splash for a 2 count. Big E then went to the top rope and Swagger caught him there and he sit in his super throw for 2 count. Swagger clipped the leg and then hooked into Patriot Lock. Big E kicked away and went for his clubbing clothesline. Swagger blocked it, but Big E came right back with it and Big E tried to make Swagger stand up, but Swagger grabbed the ankle and went back to the Patriot Lock. He gets his foot, made it to his feet, and hit an enziguri. Followed up with the big inning for the win. Match took 11 minutes 41 seconds. Very interesting match, entertaining match. Both guys looked very good in the match, and it gave the title a little lift in the process. Well done, match. Well, Bad News Barrett gets his first interruption in the show. He rose up to a crack about Russia having more medals than the U.S. Very similar to the Raw comments. It drew crickets. Video hyping of the return of Hulk Hogan tomorrow night on Raw. As the reporter said, the Hogan video got a good reaction. Not overwhelming, but good. Then a video recapping Daniel Bryan's beatings over the past week. Backstage, Byron Saxton asking Daniel Bryan about his mindset. Since he wasn't 100%, Bryan said his mindset is always 100%. He asked questions until it descended into the Borgasm Yes chants. The Outlaws came out for their match and did their shit. With 1,000 attendants and the millions rocked around the world, Generation X proudly presents this six-time tag team champions of the world. The New Usos were up next. Match number 2, the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos for the WWE Tag Team Championship. The Outlaws went to the floor quickly and the Usos teased diving, but the Outlaws moved. Usos held up and the Outlaws played to the crowd. Road Dogg tagged in, went for a shake, rattle, roll punch, but the Usos reversed it and did their own version of the punch. The announcer's laughter was so bad that people in the room got more reaction than the move did. Asked if they just used canned laughter? No. Nope. The state of WWE announcing in 2014. The Outlaws took over for about a minute or so, and then the Usos got the hot tag. Jimmy tossed both guys out to the floor and dove on Road Dogg. Gunn managed to dodge the dive and hit Jimmy from behind. Back in the ring, Jimmy hits a big kick on Billy and went to the top rope. He jumped over Gunn and hit a super kick on Road Dogg. Gunn rolled up Jimmy from out of nowhere for the win. New Age Outlaws retained the tag titles in an 8-minute 52-second match. Then we get another Bad News Barrett. The old knock. Let me get the decorum here. I got some good news, some bad news. As it rose up again, but not much. I must have had a network hiccup because my stream from WWE froze again, so I had to find another website for it. Then I went back to WWE for Ringside News, and their site was still buffering. This is why I'm catching the results from here until I get to the second hour. Well, this is a big concern the WWE Network has to have. I'm fairly sure it was a problem, not a problem on my end, but not everyone is going to see it that way. I hope for their sake the technology is ready. I wonder if the WWE Network will be ready. Darren Young makes his entrance. I didn't see much of this match. It came back on briefly, and then Barrett came on, interfering, and all I seen was Titus O'Neil in the middle of the ring. So I'm guessing he won. Okay, here's what happened. Young clothesline O'Neal over the top rope, and the crowd went mild. Titus reversed a whip to the corner that caused Darren to fly over the top rope, and no one seemed to care. Ouch. Titus hit the Clash of the Titans for the win. 6 minutes, 18 minutes match. Another bad news. Like I said, bad news. Barrett. Decorum. May I have some decorum, please? As back again. This is going to get old real fast. He only rose a little way up and said Minnesota electricians were as good as the football team, and he was stuck. He said Hulk Hogan was returning Monday and it was a big deal, but Hogan would be overshadowed by Barrett. And that was the bad news. Josh Matthews and the panel recapped the pre-show match and talked about the brotherhood of the Outlaws match. A video recapping the Shield versus Wyatt family feud. Again, having network issues. And they had to reset. So that's where the feed went. Well, not everybody, so it was not on my end, so I wasn't the only one having a problem there. Theirs was also, because mine was just buffering. Well, the next matchup was the Shield versus the Wyatt family. We did get to see this match as it was in its entirety. Several quick tags starting the match led to Reigns and Wyatt in the ring. Wyatt got the best and tagged in Harper. Harper tried to suplex Reigns, but Reigns reversed. The network crashed again a moment, about 6 minutes in, and came back on. And the Wyatts were working over Seth Rollins. Harper hits a slingshot over the top rope and tagged in Bray. Bray hit a slam and uncovered as Ambrose broke the count, and Harper nearly took Ambrose's head off with a big boot. Good grief. Reigns got the hot tag into a great reaction. He set Rowan in the bottom rope and ran around to hit a drop kick when Harper tossed him to the floor. Harper hit a dive onto the floor, followed by Rowan. Well, the internet feed went out, and next thing you know, Roman Reigns was getting mauled by two of the members of the Wyatt family. Match broke down, and there was some people everywhere. Rollins cleared the Spanish announce table, but Bray stopped him from doing more. Ambrose attacked him, and Bray fought out into the crowd. Back in the ring, Reigns hits a huge clothesline on Rowan for a 2 count. Bray came back in, and Harper picked apart Rollins. Rowan hits a follow-away slam on Reigns. He went to the floor, and Harper double-tossed Rollins through the Spanish announce table. Reigns climbed back in the ring, and the Wyatts surrounded him like the Shield has surrounded people. They're doing the melee, the mirror image thing. Harper and Rowan destroyed Reigns while Bray watched. Bray climbed in and hooked in for Sister Abigail, but Reigns powered out, right out of it, the Hogan way. And he hits a Samoa drop on Bray. Momentarily, he took out all 3 guys. It was a 3-on-1 versus 3, so showing his power as the Wyatt members just outnumbered him, and sets up for the spear on Ambrose. Well, nailed that. Harper slid in and took the spear instead. That allowed Bray to slam into Reigns and hit the Sister Abigail kiss for the win. And the match took 22 minutes 28 seconds out of our lives. Believe me, I'm far more irritated by the missing the minutes than any of you might be. Well, what we saw was an entertaining match, especially when the match broke down near the end. I'm very surprised Reigns took the pin here. Without my prediction, I was going with Reigns would overpower them all, and he could take them on all 3. Well, he tried. And also, the main predictor that one's always getting everything right, he missed this one as well. It's the only one he missed, according to Ringside News. Backstage, Renee Young was talking to Christian about his attitude change And Christian said people needed to listen to him. He was desperate. He said he was going to win tonight, one way or another. AJ made her ring entrance, and then Lillian's mic broke just after the announcement that there would be a Divas Championship match. Well, my guess was going to be since I seen it earlier today, it was going to be an open challenge. Well, she did say that she had been the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. I don't agree with that, but I will check that for sure. As she has no competition, but she has had to compete anyway. She said Naomi would have been a nice change of pace. Who is going to win later this year sometime the WWE Championship. But Naomi had to go and break her face. So she said she rhymed that, not me. Cameron was out next for the challenge taken. Well, AJ, of course, with Tamina versus Cameron for the WWE Divas title. The fight spilled to the floor early on, and Tamina accidentally super kicked AJ. Cameron rolled her in the ring and covered. Tamina put AJ's leg on the rope for the obvious manner, and the ref yelled at her only. And then Cameron went to attack Tamina, and Tamina hit her for the disqualification. And the boring match took 3 minutes and 57 seconds. And then we get another. Let me get some decorum here. Decorum, please. You know how he does it. Not really, but he didn't ask for it. He's like, whatever. Well, he hyped again the WWE Network. He said adults would lose their jobs and kids would be expelled for lack of attendance. He said people will be so enthralled that people won't take out their garbage, so their homes would be condemned and they would be homeless because of the network. That's a hell of a sale pitch. Well, you got backstage segment with Santino and Great Khali, El Torito, Los Matadors, and Emma, also the WWE action figure set. Of course, the same one that has the ring in it that they have been doing for the last 2 weeks. Santino tried to act cool around Emma as Emma left. She said she liked toys. Batista made his ring entrance to a serious heel heat. A video recap of his beating of Del Rio, in case any of you had a simple thought about Del Rio winning, Del Rio entered to a very low reaction. Mostly heat. Well, he tried to do the injured stitch. Yeah, come down wearing a tracksuit and a crutch. And had a soft neck collar. Of course, you know, the old thing. Catches him in the groin, hits him with the crutch. Tries to beat down, but of course it doesn't work. Del Rio said because of Batista's brutal attack, he wouldn't be able to compete tonight. Batista looked confused, and Del Rio beat the hell out of him with the crutch. Pulled the tracksuit off, and the match is on. Well, as he's still beating down, the bell hasn't rang yet. Continued to beat the hell out of Batista with the crutch. Batista fought to his feet, and the ref then called for the bell. Batista hit the first punch as the bell sounded, and the crowd instantly rained hate on him. A Batista chant started out, followed by a Punk chant, which was the loudest in history, according to some of the chatters that were in attendance. I was on Ringside News. It wasn't for the first, but it was the most organized one I've ever heard so far. The crowd decided this was the match that they would take over. Of course, they also chanted for Y2J as Del Rio hit the ring post on a missed spear. Batista started his offense, and the crowd booed. Something got bleeped, and then Del Rio regained control. So the crowd went back to chanting for everyone else. They chanted for Lesnar next. Batista hits a spear, and, well, you guess how the rest went. Del Rio exposed the turnbuckle, allowing Batista to recover. Batista hits the spine buster and lifted for the powerbomb. But Del Rio slid out and clipped the leg. Del Rio teased the arm breaker to a great response, and then Batista shoved Del Rio into the corner with the exposed turnbuckle, and followed with the Batista bomb for the win and more hate from the crowd. The match took only 7 minutes 11 seconds. A 7-minute match for your WrestleMania headliner? Ouch! The match was as good as it could be, but with Batista tossing Del Rio around so many times like a rag doll, there just wasn't any sizzle to it. The crowd absolutely hated Batista. I'm very interested to see what happens in the Elimination Chamber because Orton versus Batista will get murdered by the Mania crowd. The announcers team repeated their picks, and then the chamber video played as the crew set up for their chamber match. John Cena's entrance was played and gave a shirt to a challenge fan at ringside. It was for a nice moment. He got it in a pod, and Christian was up next in another pod. Randy Orton was the third, and then the announce team pointed out that 0-5 in chamber matches, Daniel Bryan was the final pod entrant. He had the arm wrapped up along with the shoulder, and Cesaro was out next. Sheamus was next. All 6 men made it to the chamber. Well, my prediction would have been Christian getting eliminated first. Well, that was wrong, as you will soon find out. Match number 7 and your main event of the evening. As always, WWE proudly present promise you a great main event. Well, Randy Orton versus John Cena versus Christian versus Danny Bryan versus Cesaro versus Sheamus in an elimination chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight title. It's actually champion of champions, if I'm not mistaken, as Triple H was saying. Both guys took clotheslines over the top rope onto the steel early. And I think it was every 5 minutes because this was a long, ongoing match. Sheamus hits his forearm shots over the ropes and tried to suplex Cesaro back into the ring. Cesaro fought back and Sheamus took a double stomp on the steel. Cesaro beat up Sheamus in the corner and mocked Cena with a "you can't see me." Cesaro hits several uppercuts in the corner, but Sheamus hits his diving clothesline for a 2 count. And then Bryan was the first guy in. Once that first 5 minutes was up, and he came into a huge reaction from the crowd. He had Sheamus and Cesaro on their knees and did the Borgasm yes chants kicks on both guys. It's a Northern Light suplex on Cesaro as Bryan has Sheamus in the Indian Deathlock. Cesaro recovered and covered first and shut Bryan down with uppercuts. Cesaro went after Sheamus and ground his face into the steel floor, but no blood. Bryan attacked from behind, but Cesaro whipped him into his own pod. Trashing it. Well, it didn't all the way break. Well, it's plexiglass. Plexiglass is not made to break. And some plexiglass is actually bulletproof. For those that don't know, if you didn't know, you better call somebody. Sheamus hits a Finley roll on Cesaro on the steel. Christian was in next. So we got 4 guys in and went after Bryan's arm and took the wrapping off. Bryan tried to fight back with a quarter drop kick, but Christian moved and Bryan crashed. Well, before Christian's pod even opened, my buddy Andre was here with me. My other buddy Robert cashed out on the pay-per-view for the night and spent the time with his girlfriend. Sheamus grabbed Christian for a long dart move, but Christian slid out of it and hit a reverse DDT. Cesaro recovered and tossed Christian into the air for the pop-up uppercut, just like he did on Raw. Christian grabbed for the fence and said he jumped off onto Cesaro, but Cesaro caught him for a powerbomb in the pod for a 2 count. Well, that's the second pod that crashed in. So the plexiglass is not very sturdy in the matches. They just fall apart. Sheamus recovered as Cesaro hit the gut wrench slam on the steel, and both So real busy like. Cena was the next man out of the pod, and he hits an attitude adjustment on Christian. And then on to Cesaro. Bryan hits the top rope. Lana on Cena immediately. He started hitting the yes kicks. But Christian hits the kill switch for a near fall. Cesaro sets up the giant swing on Christian. Cena hits a crossbody that sent Christian slingshotting into turnbuckle, which was a cool spot. Then Cena set up for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but Sheamus interfered and hit the right noise on him for a 2 count. Cesaro then dumped Sheamus to the floor and took a tornado DDT from Christian. Cena hits a back suplex on Christian into the cage. Cena ran in to start the shoulder tackle. Cesaro popped him up and hits the uppercut in a sweet spot for a 2 count. I know we're throwing him up again for the European uppercut. Superman punch type. Cesaro, the camera showed all 5 guys struggling to stand up as Orton washed in his pod. Then a brawl broke out with all the bodies flying everywhere. Orton finally got in from his pod and went after everyone, but they all recovered and pinned him into a corner. He ran to his own pod and got back in and closed the door. Well, Sheamus climbed back out of the ring and stood backwards to the ring and just started doing the kind of like a bull. Turned around, bull kicked the pod, plexiglass back onto Orton. Cesaro took out Sheamus and then hit the 5-knuckle. Cena hits the 5-knuckle shuffle on Orton. Cesaro then dumped Cena and Cesaro swing onto Orton. 25 times I counted. The crowd was still going, but the feed was actually almost behind the fans, so I guess the fans stopped. And I counted 25 times around. Orton hits a superplex on Sheamus, and then Christian hits the splash for the top rope. And then rolled around and pinned Sheamus for the first elimination. Well, this was like a domino effect. Sheamus was then eliminated at 26:05. Daniel hits a running knee on Christian to eliminate him at 27 minutes 12 seconds. Then the final 4 squared off in the ring and paired off as Orton versus Bryan versus Cena versus Cesaro. Cena and Bryan knocked out the heels and went after each other. Bryan tried to hook the Borgasm Yes lock. Cena stood with him on his shoulders and tried for the attitude adjustment. Bryan fought out of it and Cesaro ran into a hit combo. German suplex into a Samoan drop combo. Orton went after Cesaro and the distraction allowed Cena to hit an attitude adjustment on the steel from the ring. He then dragged Cesaro back in and slapped on the STF for another submission elimination at 30 minutes 10 seconds in. Well, this got the Wyatt noise popping and the lights went off. So it was total darkness on the pay-per-view. When the lights came back on, they were already in the ring. Well, thus they were hiding under the ring from their match from earlier. They took out Bryan, but Bryan only hits Sister Abigail on Cena. They stepped away and Orton covered to get rid of Cena for that elimination at 32 minutes 38 seconds in. As it's going in almost towards the 10 minutes before the third hour. Actually, before it was going into an hour, the final 10 minutes of the pay-per-view, normal time, Wyatt left the cage and stood just outside the doors. Well, of course, Kane, as expected, came out and told them to get back. They laughed at him and then finally left. Kane climbed into the ring to check on Cena momentarily, and then Bryan hit a top rope knee on Kane. Well, Orton grabbed Bryan and pulled him to the top, but Bryan reversed into kicks on the Tree of Woe. Locked in the Tree of Woe. As Orton was upside down, Orton came back with the hanging DDT and set up for the RKO. Orton ducked him and hit the running knee. He covered, but Kane stopped the ref from making the count. Bryan then kicked Kane, knocking him off the ring apron. Well, that's on the outside on the steel grating. Orton hits an RKO for a near fall that the crowd exploded for. After he gets up, Bryan started to fight back again because he did kick out of the pinfall, only to get hit from behind from Kane, and Orton hit another RKO and covered for the win. And won the match in 37 minutes 33 seconds. That was the best Elimination Chamber match in several years, at least that I can remember. Everyone came out of this looking good and perfectly okay with the finish, because it makes sense to have fans with one more month to WrestleMania. But again, for Batista to be facing Randy Orton in the manner that he won, that was disgusting. Oh, I don't think they can go another year with this, and he needs to win at Mania to solidify him as a rightful champion, because he's won in these piss poor matches. As much as Bryan versus Hunter would make sense, it isn't going to sell like Bryan going after the title. All in all, a decent pay-per-view that exceeded some expectations. Though, to be fair, my expectations were pretty low, except for the Chamber and Shield versus Wyatt matches. I was expecting the Shield to win. Big E versus Swagger was a nice surprise. Everything else was about as expected, so predictable. And another reason why this Elimination Chamber, because 10 tons of steel can be very dangerous to crowd at ringside, especially if one of the chains from the mechanisms that lowers this 10 tons of steel. Just imagine if that was a drop on the crowd with all that weight. Imagine the lawsuit from WWE if that was about to happen. Well, if a human being can drop from the roof, well, what do you expect from this Elimination Chamber that could be dropped? Well, just my opinion. I hate it if it would happen, but just a thought. Anyways, thanks for viewing. Peace out.